Well, good morning, colleague Vučić. Have you seen the massive pro-democratic protests in Serbia that have been going on, not just last weekend, but since weeks and months now? Just a short wrap-up for all the ones that didn't follow the case from the beginning on. Since many years, the country is governed by President Vučić and a small group of his buddies and a few oligarchs. And during all these years, the country has been lowering their standards when it comes to media freedom. They have been attacking the independence of justice. The institutional work has been more and more diminished by corruption. Living standards for population have been going down. A lot of people have left Serbia. There's a massive brain drain. And now, just as we've seen in November 2024, we've seen the incident of the whole roof of the newly Chinese-built train station in Novi Sad collapsing and causing 15 people to die underneath and a lot of injured people. And this was the final moment where Serbian population finally found the momentum to stand up and to protest against this government that is turning this country more and more into an autocracy. Starting from the students that blocked their universities and that protested by not going back to their studies, the protests they spread across the whole country. And we've seen protests earlier in Belgrade, but now suddenly you see protests in Belgrade, in Novi Sad, in Niš, in actually all the towns of the country, even in small villages. So the protests have spread to the whole population. And just last weekend in Belgrade, you've seen far more than 100,000 people marching. Even the police says it was more than 100,000 people. The organizers of the protests say close to 300,000 people. Belgrade was full of protesters, and this is an amount of people that you cannot stop anymore. Not even if you send football hooligans under the command of Vučić or other actors that try to spread violence into these peaceful protests. And that's very important. It's all peaceful protests. And what we've seen last weekend is that it seems that some kind of sonic weapon was used. I mean, this is banned in Europe, but still, if you see the videos, it exactly looks like the police has attacked protesters with this kind of weapon, and they were preparing also violent attacks. So the organizers of the protests actually stopped the protests to ensure that there's no violence erupting in these protests. And finally, it seems President Vučić has understood the message. He recently said in a statement that he thinks his population might want some new elections and they want to like to vote for a new government. Well, good morning, colleague Vučić. Yes, this is what your population wants, but they want fair and free elections, not like the last ones in Belgrade with a lot of flaws and a lot of misuse. Well, I would call it election fraud. But they need fair and free elections, and for this you need to do them under European standards and under the surveillance of an EU and OECD electoral mission. Only like this you will get people back to normal daily work, back to usual cooperation with institutions, and this will bring Serbia a strong step towards a modern democratic state. Stay strong, protesters. Don't give up. We're with you.